everyone, it's Cathy Zilski for Simon Says Stamp, and welcome back to another installment of Easy with me, CZ. Today we're going to stamp out a very simple birthday card, but I love this approach to taking just a few stamps and limiting my colors to create something fun. All right, let's take a look at the products I'm using. Here's a look at the stamp set I'm going to use today, and this is the balloon greeting set. I do have the coordinating dies. It's a small set of coordinating dies, but actually I think I'm mostly going to stamp today. And I want to show you a simple way just to take some colors you like, and I've got this whole collection here from Simon Says Stamp, basically in rainbow order, but going on the cooler side. And I've got a panel of cardstock, and I'm just going to start making a panel. I've got my stamp and stencil mat in here, and I'm going to undo or release the acetate from the piece. And actually, sometimes too, when I'm using this mat, because I don't want it to shift position, I'm going to put a little tape right in here, and that's just going to hold it from shifting up and down in the space. I'm going to take my piece of cardstock. This is Neenah Solar White Classic Crest in the 110 pound. And the reason I wanted it on this mat was so that I could actually have ink go off the edge and not have to worry about my stamp shifting. So let's get some balloons and get started. I'm going to start with my largest balloon, and I'm going to put it right here. Maybe go off the edge just a little bit like that, right? Pick this up. Oh, pulled my whole thing up with it, so we'll press that down again. And I'm going to start with my first color, which is SEAFOAM. Just ink up this stamp really well, bring it down, and transfer the color. And I'll be using a stamp press throughout, because this is really nice for my wrists. And if you have issues with your wrists, you can also just use your sleeve if you have long sleeves, which I have done in the past too. All right. Okay. And opening that up. All right, I'm going to wipe this down. And I'm not sure yet if I'm using another big one, but I'm going to grab the small one. And we are going to start creating a pattern. I think I'll split that right there. Pick it up and close this. And I'm going to grab my next color. You know, I was going to use Surf, but I might skip. Well, no, let's do it. I'm going to do Surf. So this is a darker shade, right, in the trio. But let's bring this down. And again, transfer. So there'd be a little overlap, and then I'm going to go ahead and hit that one more time too. Like that. All right. I'm going to wipe this down, make sure that ink is off, and make sure it's dry. And then I'm going to move on to my next color and move my stamp just a little bit up here. I'm going to put the Cadette right there. And I'm also sort of just splitting where the balloon is, the little base every time. I don't know yet if I'm going to add in the strings or not. They might just be stringless balloons. Okay, so we're going in with our Cadette. And we'll transfer. This might not need double stamping because that looked like it got a really good amount of ink on here. All right. Ooh, that looks good. Ooh, I got some ink on my paper. I'm not too worried about that. Let's take the violet. Another really pretty color. Bring that in and transfer. This one I may stamp again. That. Bring it down. Press. All right. So you can see the pattern is starting to build, right? We're getting it going. And now I think what I might do is come down, and so I think I'm going to grab another ink pad. Hold on and let me do that. I'm going to work my way down now here, and I'm going to have a little overlap right here. Maybe we'll come in just a little like that. And for this one, I'm going to use Tropic. So I'm working my way back in the rainbow, moving towards greens. This is a blue-green. Bring that down and transfer. Ooh, that looks good too. And we're going to move it one more time. And this time I'm going to try to cover up some of that little bit there. But maybe it does go right about here. Okay. So big balloons, small balloons. We're just making a lovely pattern on the panel. And this is Sprout. You can do something like this with any type of shape too, like if you have different size circles. It's just a way to have some fun with stamping. And see, we're mostly not even going to notice that little bit of schmutz there. Okay, there we go. I could even do it one more time just to deepen it up and stamp. Right, bring that up. That I want it to have a few more overlaps, but for this I might actually get one lighter shade. So let me grab a different color green. I'm going to use Celery. It's also a fun way just to use a lot of colors on a card, even though we are most definitely working on the cooler side of the rainbow. Yeah, I like that one there. Just a little up there like that to have a little more. And that's my panel. I think that's all we're going to do. And now I'm just going to let this dry for a little bit, and I can lift this right out, bend this panel right here to get the paper off. And it will come off very nicely, and then I can just quickly wipe this down to get some of that extra ink off. And then I'll put my acetate back on just like that. All right, moving on. Next, I'm going to take the many happy wishes on this special day and just sort of position it right next to the balloons like this. I'm going to pick this up. Not even too worried if it's perfectly straight because I am going to trim this down a little, but I'm going to take my Simon Says Stamp Anti-Static Powder and I'm going to powder this up really well. And I'm actually going over on here too, just in case this ink is a little wet and tacky at all, but I can brush that all away. I will use my Simon Says Stamp Clear Embossing ink, like this. Okay. Bring this down and transfer. I'm only going to do it once. I'm going to use Simon Says Stamp Ultra Fine Silver. This is a gorgeous silver powder. I'm going to sprinkle it on, and whatever sticks to the balloons here, I'm going to brush it away. Okay. Oh, not much. Okay. Let me funnel this back in. And then I'm going to use an angled shader brush just to brush away the powder that stuck to the balloons because they weren't quite dry. It's very easy. In fact, you know what? I'm going to take this off because it's easier to do when it's flat. You just brush and blow. Now, it wouldn't look bad to have those little bits of powder on the stamped balloons, but I'm going for a cleaner look. And so that's why I'm brushing it away. Now I'll grab my heat tool and we'll melt the powder. And now I have have this beautiful, shiny greeting on the panel. I'm going to trim this down and we'll pop it onto a note card. I'm just going to use this die to tape that and hold it in place, and then I'll go ahead and run that through my die cut machine off camera. I'm going to use some AUDREY blue cardstock to create my note card, and I'm going to go ahead and just hit that score line right at 5.5 inches. So this will be a top folding US A2 card. So this is 4.25 by 5.5, and I will take my Teflon bone folder just to give that a nice press, and the Teflon just doesn't leave any marks on your cardstock. I've got some of the Simon Says Stamp Big Mama foam tape on the back, and I'm using my little place and pierce tool. This works nice for just getting those edges back so you don't have to use your fingernails, because I like to say jewels, not tools. But now I'll take just a little bit of liquid glue, just do a little strip along each foam strip. This just gives you a little bit of wiggle room when you're placing your panel so that you can get it nice and straight. And I'm going to go ahead and stand up. But now I will have this very nice margin all around the bend. Oh, I love that. Isn't that cool? Just to have that little shiny greeting down here and the cascade of stringless balloons, right? We don't have to worry about the strings. To finish this card off, I thought it would be nice to have some silver sequins. These are the Sparkle All the Way. And I am going to use this little end of the pickup tool with the pierce on this side, place and pierce. Oh, pick that up, because it's got a little sticky piece on the end here, and it will pick up your sequins beautifully. Boop. And the thing I like about the type of sequin I prefer, which is boop, the confetti style, there's no holes, right? So boop, no glue comes through and your tool stays boop, nice and pristine. Got a little odd number here going down, and the last one, boop, just like that. And that's my finished card project. This is such a simple way to layer 1 or 2 stamps, work in one side of the rainbow. Here we're on the cool side, and then just finish it by having a little shiny greeting and some shiny sequins to bump up the festivity level. You can find links to all of the products I used in today's video in the YouTube description box. We'd love to have you become a subscriber to the Simon Says Stamp YouTube channel, so hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you back here with more inspiration soon.
Hi there, I'm Heidi, Simon's mama and founder at simonsaysstamp.com. Thank you so much for watching our video. If you like what you just saw, be sure to press the thumbs up and subscribe to see more great content.